Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Candid Kaya. Are you passionate about education and aspire to one day become a teacher? Well, stay tuned to hear how Bria did just that. So hello Bria.
Hi Nakaya.
Thank you so much for coming on today's episode. Can you start with just letting the viewers know a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Bria, and I'm from Atlanta by way of Elizabeth, New Jersey. I'm a Spelman and Columbia grad, and I currently teach kindergarten girls here in Atlanta.
Okay. So what inspired you to pursue teaching in the first place?
Well, I think I knew I always wanted to be a teacher since I was in first grade. I just loved my first grade teacher, and they were all of my role models growing up, and I just want to be that for someone else. So that really inspired me to pursue working with young girls and just working with young children.
In your opinion, what qualities make a good teacher?
I think that good teachers are passionate about what they do. They have a really nurturing spirit about them. They really care for children, and they ultimately want them to reach their highest potential. So I think it would be great for all teachers to have high expectations and really positive thoughts about children, no matter where they come from or what they may have done yesterday or the day before. And how they're getting on your nerves. Someone who stays constant and can keep their cool under pressure. Sure.
And you possess all of those qualities.
I try very hard.
Tell us about the steps you took to becoming a teacher.
Well, after I graduated from Spelman, I applied to many different programs that would lead me to my ultimate goal, which was teaching. I applied for Teach for America, which I got, and I also applied to several graduate programs, which I was admitted to. And I ultimately decided to attend Columbia Teachers College because I knew that I did want to teach. I knew that I wanted to be knowledgeable when I did get in front of children, and I didn't want to shortchange them by not having the experience and the preparation. So after I finished at Columbia, I took many tests and I pursued my certification, which allowed me to teach.
Okay, so when you were at Columbia, you got a master's in education?
A master's in early childhood special education. So I have certification in both general education and special education, so I can meet the needs of an entire classroom.
Okay then. So how do you think your master's degree benefited you?
So there were so many things I didn't know about childhood development after I graduated Spelman that my program was able to give me. It let me know many things, from how to organize a classroom so that it doesn't distract students. It let me know the things that I needed to do in order to work with parents in the community to make learning in my classroom possible. It gave me a lot of content knowledge about, like, how do you actually teach a child how to add two numbers together so that it actually makes sense. Learning is so abstract, and without my master's program, I wouldn't have been able to do that in a way that I actually knew what I was talking about. So it really gave me a validity, and it also let my parents know that this girl knows what she's doing.
I would say so. She's a master, basically. What is the typical day like for a teacher?
So the typical day starts with you entering into your classroom way before the kids get there, just to set up for the morning, whatever activity you want them to do when they come into the classroom. When they do come into the classroom, hopefully you'll be ready for a whole bunch of hugs and stories about last night and dinner and all those things like that. Then you get into, the actual teaching. You do many lessons on reading, writing, language skills, math, science, social studies, all of those things. There's lunch, recess. Sometimes for the little ones, there is nap. And I try to include a really fun sort of center time in my classroom. And then they go to specials, which is a time where you get to plan and take a woosah, all of those good things that come with talking to other teachers that you find out about what's going on. And then the day is over, and in my school we have carpools, so usually sometimes I'll let my children do freeze dance or something like that, and we have fun together just to build that relationship and to let them know that Miss McLean is fun.
So Bria, what is the most difficult aspect about teaching?
There are many. One of the challenges for me as a young teacher is parents. You have many issues embedded in that. Some parents don't trust you because you are young. They think,
Right.
what does this young girl, know about what she's doing with my child? Or the fact that I don't have my own children. That can always be used as something against you to say you don't know how this feels as a parent because you're not a parent. Also, parents love their children, and that is a gift. And sometimes it can be a little bit of a curse.
Right.
They care about their little babies. So anything that makes their baby sad or upset or makes their school experience anything other than positive, they are coming to you about it, and you better be prepared. That's the hardest thing for me. I want to please my parents. I want my parents to feel like they can walk into my classroom and jump into an activity, or that they can talk to me about anything. But sometimes breaking down those barriers for parents who haven't had a good school experience, so they may not enter into your classroom, or those parents who think that they can show up every single day and run it, that's a big issue.
Right. So basically, if my kid get a paper cut, put a Band-Aid on it ASAP.
All right.
So Bria, you've been a teacher for 3 years. What are some trends and issues that you see in schools that you hope to change?
Well, for me personally, I see a lot of segregation in schools, especially in urban areas. Many of our schools may have all African American students, and has little diversity. And my school in particular really aims to have a diverse group of students, and that really allows students to learn so much more from people that they don't know or would not usually come in contact with. I think when we have schools that don't have students who represent different religions or ethnicities, we're sort of cheating them out of their experience that they will experience in the real world. I think it's going to be important for parents and for school leaders to really consider the student population that they serve and really aim to integrate the city, because as we know, Atlanta is gentrifying slowly but surely, and there are many people who don't want to send their students to the public schools in their neighborhood. But I think that our public schools need all of our kids because they really help each other learn, and that's a big issue for me right now. I think that all children should be able to reach their fullest potential, and when they eventually reach their fullest potential, it will be in a world that is really diverse. So.
What are the key steps to becoming a teacher?
Well, to become a teacher, you need to be in a teacher preparation program, whether that's your undergraduate program, which will lead to teacher certification, or if you do not have that, a graduate program, which may lead to certification. There are also programs like Teach for America and other fellowships that can be found in various cities across the country, which will give you the preparation that you need in order to get certification in that specific state or city.
Okay.
After you take several tests, like in Georgia, the test is called the GACE. Then you pass it and you get your teacher certification, and you can teach in a certain content area or certain grade levels. And that's how it's done.
What are some other good ways to gain teaching experience?
Well, as an undergraduate student, you can take advantage of programs like Jumpstart, which is an early childhood literacy program, which gives you some experience in the classroom, doing some work with literacy with children in Head Start. There are also fellowships that you can do during the summer with different charter schools, especially in New York, or other big cities that have large charter school networks. And as a graduate student, you will usually have a practicum or some sort of student teaching that is required through your certification.
Okay. So there's plenty of ways to get experience, basically.
Yep.
What are some steps one should consider before entering the field of teaching?
Well, first off, do you like kids? That's a really important question to ask yourself, because they will be with you for a long time, throughout a long, arduous day. It requires a lot of patience, so you need to make sure that you have a lot of it, or that you are making a plan to work on it. Also, flexibility and an ability to be open. Children come at you with a lot of things, a lot of questions, a lot of misunderstandings that you have to be able to tackle, and ultimately be able to give them somewhere where they can leap off and learn, and actually benefit from what you are giving them. I think it's important for teachers to be sort of experts in what they're talking about. That means sometimes I need to go to the library. For example, my students one day asked me what were inside of bones, and I was like, I have no idea. So I had to actually go research and figure that out. And I think if you have that openness and that just desire to really help children understand things, then I think that you're ready to go.
What advice do you have for those who plan to pursue teaching one day?
I would say that if you are in a program, really take it seriously, especially your student teaching experiences. I say steal from all of those cooperating teachers who are doing something that you know you like. Write that down and keep it so that when you have your own classroom, you say, yes, I'm doing that. I'm putting this over here in this corner. This is why I have these books in my classroom, because that really is something that really helps me. The things that I do in my classroom, I can trace back to some teacher that I watched. So that's the advice that I would really give for someone who's pursuing teaching.
My last question is, what do you want your students to remember about your class?
I want them to remember that it was fun. One of the things that I love when children say is that Miss McLean really cares about us. I don't know where they get that from. Well, I do. But I don't know what resonates with them for them to be able to say that. But if they know you care about them, then a relationship of trust is built. And when there's trust, there's lots of love, there's connection, and you can make so many things possible through that relationship. So hopefully they say that I care a lot.
Oh, see, there you have it. Tips from an awesome teacher here in the Atlanta area. Well, we just want to give a shout out and a thank you to all the teachers out there who are making such a difference. I mean, Bria's making a difference. All the teachers, shout out to all the Knoxville teachers who made a difference in my life, who I can name one by one.
Aww.
And shout out to all the teachers in the Spelman College Math Department. Really, I think I was most excited to come see the teachers, honestly. Yeah, I had friends and stuff, but I was just excited to come see the teachers.
Such a nerd.
I know. That's the part that made school fun to me. And teachers just play such an integral role in all of our lives. Thank you all for tuning in, and show your teachers some love today, tomorrow, and the next day. Okay? Peace. See you next time.